at long last are the champions of the world, the women's team, after ages, half a century almost since the time we have had this tournament. India can finally call themselves champions of the world. And wow, I was so excited that even our bat decided to go for a little spin. But there we are, guys. Yes, this is our moment, as rather girls. This is your moment. You won it for the nation. Congratulations. So proud of you. Beyond all words. Nothing more to be said, but still so much more to be said. This cannot be put into words really at this point in time. So that I'm sure you agree with me.
Joy, jubilation, ecstasy, and every single syllable, every single vowel that you have said, Shane, I agree wholeheartedly with it, because at 12:02 AM IST on 3rd of November, it is our 1983 moment for the women's team. It's come home. Yes. Add one more list, add one more date to the annals of Indian cricket history, because June 25, 1983, April 2, 2011, and now November 3, 2025, the India women's cricket team are your World Cup winners. The year of firsts has culminated in the ultimate thing. November is going to be a heartbreaking month.
Month of heartbreak?
Who said that? Who on earth was saying that? But then November 19th is now erased. It is now November 3, 2025. Deepti Sharma's all-round exploits combined with even Shafali Verma's all-round exploits. 87, 2 wickets, Deepti Sharma 58 of 58 and 5 wickets. 5 wickets, 58 runs. India, women's team, the landscape has changed. It is a groundbreaking achievement. India women's team are your new World Cup winners.
We often hear the third time is the charm, right? Third time is the charm. But that's exactly what has happened with this women's team. You came close, you would say, in 2005. You came close, once again closer, I would say, in 2017. But now, finally, 8 years later, after that heartbreak, which truth be told, defined the legacy really for the women's team, wherein you were a team that were good on your days, you were great, but on certain days, it was so near and yet so far. That was exactly how it always used to be. You were always seen as that team who were good, but not quite there at that level when it came to actually winning titles. I think now that talk can finally be put to bed.
Women's cricket team, from empty stadiums to lack of support. What is the point? What is the point of watching women's cricket? Everybody have been asked to eat humble pie. What about the trollers? The trollers said, oh, the kitchen is your place for you. Yes, the women's cricket team went to the kitchen. They cooked the trolls.
They cooked big time.
They cooked the trolls big time, and all the misogyny in New India should end at this point in time. When Harmanpreet leapt to take the catch and India win by 52 runs, it is one of the most outstanding achievements in front of a packed 50,000 plus crowd at the D.Y. Patil Stadium. And just like the Wankhede Day on April 2, 2011, November 3, you are going to see something historic. And this only adds to certain records which we'll touch upon later. But what a moment, Shane. I mean, 52 years of the World Cup being played. India didn't play in the first World Cup, by the way. But now, seeing all the apathy, seeing how a particular women's entity had to borrow shirts from the men, used shirts from the men, put stickers with their names, fight for an identity, and now it has culminated in the ultimate achievement, World Cup winners for the first time ever. It's a goosebumps one. We thought June 29th was right up there. This is also right up there. We were honored when we were starting our journalism careers to call April 2, 2011. Now in the peak of our journalism careers, we are so proud to call this epoch-making, groundbreaking, earth-shattering, glass-ceiling breaking achievement. What do you say, Harshad?
Indeed, Siddharth, and I almost saw a mirror image of greatness, I would say, of Indian cricket. You remember that time that Virat Rohit were together with the Indian flag right behind the back? So Harman and Smriti replicate that moment. So there was a replica image of sorts in many ways, but this is going to do wonders to Indian women's cricket. This country desperately needed this moment to arrive. It came so very close, and all those question marks that if at all there have been in recent times around women's cricket, I think this banishes a lot of those question marks. This throws open so many opportunities. This puts to bed so many discussions, and it's truly the start of a new era for Indian women's cricket. This team had only seen disappointment. Let's be very, very honest about that. And they finished bottom as far as those top four are concerned. After the group stage, they were bottom in that ranking. And for them to have beaten two teams now that they had lost to last month just is a hallmark of greatness of this side. It talks a lot about the mental fortitude. It talks a lot about the skill of this team. And so many times, this wasn't a straightforward final, make no mistake. So many times you had to rebuild. This wasn't the most clinical performance per se. Yes, you were in control. That is what the scorecard will tell you. But those who've watched this match ball by one will know that you really needed to bounce back both with the bat. You lost some momentum, you had to rebuild, needed key partnerships. That happened, leaving fans and analysts both thinking whether 298 was going to be a good enough total at the halfway stage. Then with the ball as well, you needed so many moments to be showing your prowess, and you did exactly that. That crucial 6th wicket partnership had to be broken, otherwise Laura Woolward alongside the other batter were taking things away from you. You needed that 6th wicket partnership to be broken. You again needed that crucial wicket of Laura Woolward later on, and that tells you about this side as to how many hardships they've had to face in terms of being being good enough on the day, being worthy winners. And if this team is one thing, they're worthy winners of this World Cup. May have lost those 3 matches, so many question marks, were dealt with a big blow in terms of their settled opening partnership being disrupted, but what they've shown over here is true class, I would say. Worthy winners, and many congratulations to this team that has now put all that heartbreak behind them.
I mean, let's look at the landscape, okay? 2017, Pratika Rawal, look at this, is a defining image. Pratika Rawal, you can see her strapped ankle. She's in a wheelchair basically. Yeah. She had that horrific, that knee bent, and that ankle also was twisted at a very awkward angle. But as you can see, she's right there talking to the host broadcasters. It is the culmination of so many years of disappointment, Harshit and Shane. I mean, when you look at it, you should have won 2017 from the situation that you were in. Absolutely. Okay. Then in 2018, you had all that dressing room, the coaching fiasco that happened between Ramesh Pawar, Harmanpreet, Mithali, and all of them in the 2018 World Cup, World T20 that happened. 2020, you were comprehensively outplayed. 22 also, you lost. Imagine Julan Goswami, who served Indian cricket for so long, the likes of Mithali Raj, the likes of Anju Jain, the likes of Anjum Chopra, all of them who worked thanklessly. Let's make one thing very clear here. Their particular situation was built upon a lot of thankless things that were done to them. So, Smriti in tears, absolutely, she has been one of the bedrocks upon which the Indian team have had success. But then, when you lost to England by 4 runs, that was your rock bottom moment. And Harmanpreet did mention in the PC that yes, we were not shaken by it. Past Indian teams would be shaken up. But this is new India. All the misogynistic trolls that were there, I mentioned it to Shane, I'll mention it to you also. The Indian team did go to the kitchen, and they rightfully cooked the trolls. They cooked the misogynists. They cooked the patriarchs who don't take just a second to put them down. But today, 3rd November, when Harmanpreet leapt and took that catch, all the biases, all the rigidness, all the misogyny has to end. This is new India now.
How poetic was that, guys? The fact that it's a captain that's also seen as heartbreak in abundance over the last few years. At times as the captain, at times as the subordinate, at times as the deputy as well. We've seen Harman play so many roles, have so many wear so many hats in this side. How poetic was it for Harmanpreet Kaur to have a signature on what was the final act of this match?
As you said, poetic. In so many ways it was poetic. I mean, it was poetic that India's losing streak to the Sena should end against the same nation where it all began, New Zealand. It was poetic then. It was poetic that the streak continues. Once again, you defend in a World Cup final. It now continues in the year of firsts that one stat hasn't changed. You set a total, scoreboard pressure, any team will buckle, and India have done it. Forget about D.Y. Patil chasing and everything. Certain things just don't change in women's cricket at this stage, and that's why we are seeing an April 2 moment 14 years later.
I would argue you're seeing a 1983 moment. It's a combination
Of both,
You are
yes.
seeing a combination of. I mean, see, it was special. Why do we remember 83? It's your first. You always remember your first. 2011 was your first at home.
Yeah.
This happens to be both combined. It's not only your first at home, it's your first ever. So the fact that it comes at home just makes it all the more sweeter.
You can't ask for this is you visualize certain dreams, right? This is that.
This is a combination of like certain memes you'll see online, like, I used to pray for times like this. Or you could just put an image of the team celebrating and be like, manifested.
I'm
That's
so
exactly
happy,
what
not
it
just
was.
for this team. I think I'm very happy for the cricket fans as well of this country. What did I say at the halfway stage? I remember saying, and for 2 years we've carried that wound of November the 19th. It's also poetic in so many ways. You talk about life coming to a full circle. I think this for cricket fans in India is also life coming to a full circle in so many ways. You've seen a whirlwind of a campaign. It wasn't as clinical, but the very month that in so many ways gave you the pain that resides in all of us in some capacity or the other. Now there is something else to look forward to. That pain may not erase, but November just doesn't have one context anymore.
Yes.
There is not just one November story now. It's all come to a full circle, and in November at home, so many things about this campaign take you back to 2023. But I'm so very happy for the cricket fans that it's happened in the month of November yet again. Yes, there will be a 19th of November, but there'll also be a 3rd of November to make you believe in Indian cricket, to make you believe that yes, at times there is a happy ending out there.
I mean, there will be a lot of statuses now with that Chak De India song that's there. It's going to be Chak De India Part 2.
There will be Chak De India, there will be the song from 83, Jeetega Jeetega.
Jeetega, that will be there and
It's
everything.
in a world of reels, it's the real Chak De moment.
It is a real Chak De moment. And look at it. This team has had to undergo hell and through. They have gone through hell and they have come back. But then look at all the people. I mean, there are two people who stand totally vindicated at this point in time. Shafali Verma.
Absolutely.
God's plan indeed.
You talk about again players being thrown into the middle out of nowhere. She was playing a domestic competition, and look at it. What a way to have your stamp on the final. There cannot be a highlights package of this match. In fact, she has to be a match winner.
I would say it's a
Maybe
close
it's
contest. Deepti and
But
Shafali.
Siddharth, 87 crucial runs.
And breaking the partnership.
And breaking the partnership just when you needed a third wicket. And Harmanpreet had tried out every bowler.
Yeah.
You went ahead with a part-timer hoping that it gets you the breakthrough, because a part-timer, so often as we've seen in cricket, is often the surprise package. You don't make a plan for a part-timer. And Shafali Verma at best is a part-timer with the ball.
Kind of like Digvesh Rathi, but yes. The follow through was like
The action.
Action,
And
yes.
she got the much needed breakthrough. I think there's a solid case for her to be the player of the match as well.
Yeah, good luck in deciding. I would say it's a close contest between Deepti and Shafali. And the second person who stands indicated is Harmanpreet Kaur. Her first ICC captaincy stint. Imagine. Her first. Now she's not just a two-time WPL winner for the Mumbai Indians, but now she will now etch her name as one of the greatest captains India women have ever produced. was the greatest India women's cricket team captain.
The greatest. How many others have won ICC titles?
No one. I mean, yes, when you look at the broader context, women's cricket, no funds, no acceptance, no recognition.
See, then you'll come to the point of recognizing the likes of what a Diana Edulji did.
What a Shanta Rangaswamy had
Yes,
done.
what Shanta Rangaswamy did. What, for that matter, even Mithali Raj did during her time. So there's obviously name recognition to be had there as well. But Harmanpreet can say that, look,
She's in a pantheon of her own.
Exactly. As I said, you always remember first. Kapil Dev will always be remembered as the first captain to win India World Cup. So will Harmanpreet Kaur.
Both from Punjab, if I may add. I mean, Kapil Dev was from Haryana,
Kapil was from
Chandigarh.
Haryana, but still.
But still, I mean, look at it. Today, whatever happened, she got her tactics spot on. Yes, India's fielding wasn't proper, but I remember, if I had to draw between June 29th and November 3, there was long off. This too was kind of long on with Amanjot Kaur. Had she juggled and not taken that catch, the game could have still been open. But she took the catch when it mattered, and Deepti Sharma's 42nd over was the ultimate game changer. That's when you knew India had one hand on the trophy. Nadine de Klerk tried, but you can't produce Vizag miracles every day. So that is why. I mean, we will only it will sink in. This kind of thing will sink in only much later because the magnitude is so enormous. Look at what has happened. Honest to heart to every single Indian out there. Before the World Cup, how many of you predicted that, barring a few, they would be your title winners?
No, I think everyone was expecting Australia or South Africa.
Or in England for that matter. Okay? Very few people had said that yes, India would be, and we all of us in the Sports Today studio were saying this is the best time for Indian women's cricket to win the World Cup. If not now, then never. They finally managed to do it. And despite everything, losing to Australia consistently, but as we said, Abhishek Sharma had mentioned in Melbourne, for the way how they played against Australia, you deserve the World Cup. And yes, it continues. Whenever you beat Australia, sometimes you do win the World Cup.
Yeah, 2017 being the notable exception to that rule.
2019.
And 23.
Yeah. So, that is why today 11 proud Indians and their backroom staff of Munish Bali, Avishkar Salvi, Amol Muzumdar.
Go to Amol Muzumdar as well. He was given, reins of a team that were looking for an identity, that had seen a lot of heartbreak. He had to cover up a lot of scars. He had to rebuild this team. This is still a very young team, let's not forget.
Yes.
So many of these players have played under 50 matches.
Yep.
And it's worth noting that probably one of the most experienced players in this team is Harman.
Yes.
Yeah.
That in itself tells you everything. Someone like Smriti, who's seen as a quote-unquote senior, is 26.
26.
So this is a very young team. It's a very, very young team. And truth be told, in a couple of years' time, it's scary to think how good they could potentially be. I mean, you've got a World Cup next year as well. There's a T20 World Cup, if memory serves me right. So that should be another thing which this team should look at now, because now you've got the confidence. I would say in team sports, that winning feeling, once you get a hold of it, it can actually change you. That's what we saw happen with Australia. That dynasty, why would they win so much? Because they just loved that feeling of winning. And I hope that this team also imbibes that feeling of winning and says, you know what, it's not enough that we won this. We want to keep winning. We want to keep doing it. We want to win over and over and over. And the thing with knockout level sport, it's so funny, right? We always said that, they finished fourth. Statistically speaking, they'd be the team least favorites to win it. But come the knockouts, come it the hour, come it the ladies, they managed to do just fine, put in a performance for the ages, beat Australia, and then end up defending in superb fashion. Although there were mistakes, I believe, South Africa made. We'll get to that in just a bit. They did their part. It was basically a case of this match, if you have to sum it up towards the middle overs time. It was like an old, two gunslingers going at it, and both were just waiting for the other to blink. So it was just a case of stand your ground, wait for the other to blink. Once that little bit of movement came, India went for the kill, and then there was no looking back from there. Once South Africa slipped up, that one slip up which came, arguably when the wicket of Woolward fell, that was when the game felt over.
I'm still struggling to even gauge the impact. I'm struggling to even gauge when the sun rises in the next 6 hours, you have woken up to a new dawn.
Yeah.
This is what an epoch-turning event is in the history of sport. I thought June 29th was that, 2024. But no. This is a true epoch because as you rightly pointed out, Shane, this is a combination of 83 and 2011 put together. A World Cup win at home, first ever World Cup win. Tomorrow, I will still be struggling. I have to really wonder, has this really happened? Because for far too long, I grew up in a generation which, I'm sorry to say, looked down upon women's cricket.
With sport in general.
Women's sport. You know, Harshit and Shane, the similar kind of feeling, when did I have? That I just couldn't put into words and the impact. When Vinesh Fogart beat Yui Sasaki in the Paris Olympics, Sasaki had not lost in 82 matches in professional wrestling.
This was the first match, right?
Yes. Vinesh defeating her for the first time. That was the impact. And for far too long, when you look at it, when women's cricket in India was struggling, it was our Olympic winners, our women Olympic medalists who were pulling the country through. Sakshi Malik,
Yes.
PV Sindhu. How can anyone forget the iconic thing of Vinesh Fogart struggling, that injury, when she was carried out? We felt her career is done. Then you look at 2021, again PV Sindhu, again everybody else who stepped up.
Yeah.
This one, couldn't put into words. This was like Vinesh Fogart beating Yui Sasaki.
And in fact, I think, you're talking about women's athletes being looked down on. I mean, I'm old enough now to remember that I grew up in an era where there were few and far when it came to women athletes who brought glory to India. Two of them I remember growing up with. One was, of course, Sania Mirza.
Yes.
And
Yes.
the other was, of course, Saina
Nehwal.
And I saw a lot of, as much as the glory that they brought, and I think I always say this, Sania Mirza was a bit of an underrated singles player. I think injuries kind of curtailed that career of hers, and she had to switch to doubles. But I never saw that doubles thing being respected as much as it probably should have been, and she often was facing the wrath of trolls. Same with Saina. I think, the unfortunate reality, and if you go back in time, you'll realize just how monumental her run was through women's badminton. People look at Sindhu and the kind of force of nature she was. But let me put it this way, a Saina walked so the Sindhu could run. But we don't give them that credit. And I think what you have to also remember, the fact is that in India, cricket is the one sport that everyone watches. So the fact now that you have these girls, these ladies go out there and achieve their dreams, I think is great news, not only for the cricketing landscape, but for sport in general. Because suddenly now to a whole generation, it's like normalized.
It's a great moment for women in the country.
Yeah.
Chak De India, if you look at the movie, look at the adversities they had to fight, although it was based on the premise of the 2002 Commonwealth Games gold that you had. Okay. But this is a cricket World Cup. Cricket hijacked Chak De India through the hockey sport, but this is a true Chak De India moment.
Absolutely.
And I was saying this to Shane Harshit, I mean, I remember that one scene which I will never forget, when there was the news also which came up in that starting of the 2010 decade. Used shirts from the men's team were given to the women's team. They had to tape the name and then they had to write over that.
Why I'm happy today, why I'm extremely happy is I was looking at the stories of each of these players. I was looking at the story of a Smriti Mandhana. I was looking at the story of a Deepti Sharma. I was looking at the story of a Jemima. You can name easily, I can go ahead and name about 6 to 7 players from this 11 that played today that had something to do with either their sibling or their parents as to why they took up cricket. Smriti Mandhana was left-handed. You've heard that story. Why? Brother used to play cricket and was left-hander, so she had no choice but to make do with that left-handed pair of gloves and that bat that was there.
Yeah.
And there's a difference. There's a big difference in the set of gloves that a left-hander has and a right-hander does. So she had to take up that. Jemima Rodriguez, the girl that we've been celebrating over the last 3-4 days, she took to cricket because her brothers would play cricket. You know what this moment does? I think for girls pursuing cricket, they no longer need a male counterpart, or they don't need a male figure to look up to now. You don't need a Rohit Sharma, Virat Kohli. You now have the example of a Harmanpreet Kaur, you have the example of a Smriti, you have Jemima, 25-year-old. When people look at Jemima, Kranti Kaur as winners, as World Cup winners at such a young age, you really perhaps don't need a male figure out there, because now you look at what glory means. Now you will see these girls being household names as well, and this is what men's cricket, or that glorious moment in 83 did to Indian cricket, right? All of these guys, Kapil became, Sunny became, all of these guys became household names because of that epoch-making moment. This is in equal measure an epoch-making moment for Indian women's cricket, and so many of these players will now become entities you will see so often on big billboards. You will see them become household names. You will see them get more advertisements. And it just, the magnitude of this is going to be enormous. WPL becomes even bigger now.
Yeah.
It's already been a big success. It becomes even bigger. Jemima, I was listening to the other day, guys, and she was telling in this interview, she says that there was this time that she was the only one in a school of whatever number of children that there were about 500 kids with 500 boys who would be practicing after school got over, and there'd be 500 boys in a big playground that'd be practicing for the cricket. She'd be the only girl practicing cricket. That was the stark contrast in the number of guys versus the number of girls who were taken to cricket. And this is just a 25-year-old Jemima Rodriguez. So 8 years back she was easily in school. 9 years back.
Yes.
This story now completely changes.
Yeah.
Completely changes. Jemima says at such a young age, and she wasn't even a World Cup winner when she did this interview, she said that her rise had done enough or left enough of an impression that there was a dedicated net just for girls in her school. Imagine what Jemima becoming a World Cup winner. Imagine what Harmanpreet Kaur, coming from the state that she does over there, and what kind of a message does this send to Haryana,
Punjab, Haryana,
exactly.
UP, MP.
Why I name Haryana is just because of the fact that we know opportunities for a woman are limited at times in that state. It's infamous for that.
How ironic though that it produces the most sporting personalities who give glory, but still when it comes to women, the state lags behind in a big way. Although some steps have been taken, but now let us all say that from November 3 onwards, it's equal. All this thing, equal pay and equal all that nonsense, please. वो भी World Cup winner, ये भी World Cup winner.
Correct.
Your equality has been achieved. Period. End of story. We can continue to wax lyrical, but then let's talk a bit about the match, okay?
Yeah.
Chasing 299. Where do you think for you guys, South Africa, where did they go wrong? Was it scoreboard pressure, or they just struggled to get momentum, or was there no support for Laura Woolward?
I think it's one major or two major factors. I don't think it was scoreboard pressure, but I do think aside from Laura, no one really got a start, or no one really got a big score. They needed one more big score, in my opinion, and they didn't get that. The second, and I think this is where they really lost it, was that they didn't try to accelerate too much in the middle overs. The middle overs were far too passive. Nothing wrong with taking it deep. Truth be told, this game was to be won by taking it deep only, much like the semi-final between Australia and India was won by India by taking it deep. You had to take it deep. You had to ensure that you reached there with a fighting chance, then went out all guns blazing. The problem was that by the time they took it deep, by the time they reached the 10th overs, the last 10 overs of the match, the required rate was over 8, if my memory serves me right. It was touching 9. Yeah, it was 89 runs needed of the last 10 overs.
Right,
so
you're right.
that's 8.9.
They were operating about 5.5. They had to go upwards of 8 and a half.
Exactly. So what I thought is that if they had to be in that sort of a position where they needed to be competing, it needed to be at around the 7.5 mark, the required rate. If it was at that rate, no, there would have been nerves. Because at that point, you knew that you have 2 big overs, and suddenly the game is in South Africa's favor. The thing was that at 89, you knew they needed not 2, they needed potentially 3 or 4 big overs really out of the 10. And so they had to go hard. When they went hard, they presented you or ran the risk of presenting you with wicket taking opportunities, and that's exactly what happened. They went for the big shots, didn't quite come off, and then it was too little too late for by the time Tryon and de Klerk came in. Simple as.
Yeah, I think that game the game really changed in two moments. There were two big moments in the second innings. One was that third wicket that you got, courtesy Shafali Verma. Clearly, the momentum was with South Africa at that time. Laura Woolward was again looking like the Laura Woolward we'd seen in this entire competition. She was looking as that player you could put your money on that she's getting 100. Given what she had done in the semi-final as well, she was really looking like a player who carried on the way that she had left off in the semi-final. So it was scaring me. And then I'm just forgetting who was giving her support at the other end.
Marizan Cap.
No, it wasn't Marizan Cap. Marizan Cap.
Let's open the scorecard here.
Marizan Cap was the fourth wicket, I remember.
I think then it was Sunelise.
Sunelise, yes. She was the one giving, ably
No, it was Jafta. Lees got out before Cap.
Yeah.
No, Sunelise only. Third wicket change.
Third wicket. She scored a third wicket.
Yeah, it was Lees.
So yes, I think South Africa were really threatening. You had gone 10 overs without a wicket. That's a lot. That's 1/5 of your innings. So at that point, I felt that wicket. Also because that speaks volumes about the captaincy as well. It could have been a move. Also, I'm pretty sure Harman would have thought, okay, 2 overs, I'll try out Shafali. Guess what she does? She picks a wicket in her first over, second over, first ball. And that's how she got an extended spell. Pretty sure you weren't looking at a Shafali. You had 6 bowling options otherwise very easily, but you brought in a 7th. It turned out to be a master stroke in hindsight. So I truly feel that is one moment that determined the result of this match. The other was the 6th wicket. Again, there was a partnership building, and that 6th wicket partnership had already reached the 61 run mark. You needed to break that. It was Deepti, I think, who broke that partnership for you, that 6th wicket partnership. Yeah. And Dirksen was looking like somebody who would be, she gave me vibes of what De Klerk had done in the Vizag match. She was giving me those sort of vibes, and that again came at a very crucial juncture. They were again beginning to get boundaries. Woolward was still unshaken like a rock. She was standing right there, and so I think it was these two moments for me that changed the course of the game.
For me, the 42nd over that Deepti bowled.
Okay,
she gets rid of Laura Woolward. With Amanjot, that juggling catch 3 times, and then she dismisses Chloe Tryon by the barest of margins. It just clips the leg stump. Now Nadine de Klerk was in a catch-22. She had to only manage to get the strike, but the back was broken. It was done. You had one hand on the trophy already. Nadine de Klerk might have given you some nervous moments. I mean, there were 2 dropped catches that Jemima had, and also Sri Charani also dropped one. There was a wide in that over, which was like, okay, calm down. The adrenaline's going, calm down. So, in that sense, that 42nd over was the game changer for me at this point. So, great stuff indeed at this stage, and that's where I think the 3 things were there. But I think South Africa kept it too late. I think they allowed the asking rate to mount, and that is when I feel that it changed.
Well, then let's try and talk our family members through what is it that we see right now in terms of the emotion. So, how do you look at these pictures? There's the Indian flag, couple of Indian players holding the Indian flag. What does it mean for a Smriti who's in tears? Harman also, I saw a lot of tears in her eyes. These 2 players have been the bedrock of this team. They've been the fulcrum of this team for far too long now. Try talking us through the images that you see.
It's a realization. That yes, we have finally done it. It's the culmination of all the years of heartbreak, proving the doubters wrong at each and every point in time. And if you look at whatever is happening, Harmanpreet is probably saying that yes, how will we celebrate? There are tears. We will have plenty of celebrations at this stage, and that is where you can see there is smiles all around. How will we pose for the selfies? How are we going to celebrate? Look at the childish excitement that is going on, and that is when I think the plan is how we'll celebrate, how we'll party, how we'll go about it. And that is how I see this particular
I have a feeling, Jemmy has been extremely animated over there. They're making the skipper do something. This could just be, some content for one of the reels or something. But yeah, just so happy to see this team, each member smiling from year to year. They're beaming right now.
Yep. And there is Uma Chetri right in the middle, the only one from the northeast to play for India by this time. So yes, all are there. See, the only individuals who didn't get a game in this entire T20, in this entire ODI World Cup was Arundhati Reddy and Yastika Bhatia. And yeah, I think Yastika Bhatia was withdrawn later on as well because I think there was some issue. So that is why they will simply just have a big party. How we'll celebrate, how we'll go out, and they're waiting for this particular moment. Yes.
Okay, quick question. Are we getting this trophy, gents? Or is there somebody taking the trophy away?
Well, considering it's been given by Mithali Raj, or it's being brought over by Mithali Raj, and will be handed over by the ICC president Jay Shah, highly doubt we're not getting this trophy.
We are getting the trophy.
Good to know.
We are, yes.
Okay.
You don't have to look at all the protocols and all that.
I thought the Asia Cup trophy would be the one to reach the BCCI headquarters, but this one, fair to say, is reaching the BCCI.
No one cares about the Asia Cup trophy. We don't need to take it from an individual who has got false ego, false pride. Okay? So, Mithali Raj has given it, and what an icon to give that trophy, getting it on the stage. It's truly an iconic moment indeed. And yes, we'll have to now wait for what kind of dance. Will they do the same thing like what they did on June 29, 2024, or will it be something different? That we have to check out now.
Will they be doing the floss?
Oh man,
Jemmy knows that very well. So does Harleen.
Yes.
I'm pretty sure there'd be a few other members in the team that would have learnt it by now.
But you know what I'm looking forward to the most? Our own Sunny Ji dancing and singing
along.
Jemmy. Jemmy will play the guitar. So whether we'll see it now or we'll see it later, I don't know at this point. So yes, it's a proud moment indeed. And yeah, I think for India, when I look at it, when we discussed at the start, Shefali's knock and Deepti.
Yeah.
Two guys, 87 of 2 wickets, 58 and 5 wickets. I don't think I've seen any kind of a performance where you've had two all-rounders having such an impact.
Yeah, and that's what we used to keep saying, right? That this Indian team, they need their all-rounders to fire. Deepti has been arguably your best all-rounder in this tournament. She was statistically that. She had 17 wickets prior to this game. Takes it to 22 overall. That's crazy numbers, whichever way you look at it. And scored over 200 runs as well, making her the first ever player to actually do the double of at least 200 runs and at least 15 wickets. Now though, you can make that 20 wickets.
21.
Yeah, because she's taken that many wickets. It's mad, absolutely mad that, the kind of performance. And she's someone who does fly under the radar a lot. I've seen a lot of people criticize her when things go wrong, but not that many praise her when things go right, because she is actually India's top all-rounder. There's no two ways.
I mean, from all the criticism of 2022, when she bowled a no ball against South Africa, where we got eliminated, poetic.
Redemption.
This is also called poetic in a way. So yeah, we are waiting for the trophy celebrations. By that time, I think, shall we take some comments?
Sure.
Let's take some comments. Danush is saying, never underestimate team that finished 4th, points table. Pakistan 1992, yes. Deccan Chargers 2009, India 2025. Have I missed any 4th place champions in cricket?
None other that I can remember, but yeah, he's right. 4th place does tend to weirdly spawn a lot of champions.
Yeah, it does. I mean, what position did Australia finish in 2023? Oh no, wait, 1 and 4, it was India and New Zealand. 2 and 3 were South Africa and Australia.
Yeah, so they finished either second or
third. Yeah.
Second.
They finished second, yeah. What about New Zealand in 2019?
They finished 4th too.
But they lost in the final. I mean, it was tied, but they lost in the final in that sense. So, yeah, never underestimate 4th place finish, my friends. And yeah, Pawan Holla is saying, Shefali and Deepti, who got criticized for the fitness, changed the momentum of the game for us. Indeed, this team proved many of us wrong, and I wholly apologize to this team for all the criticism made before.
Yeah, I never understood the questions of fitness. I mean, I understand certain people's bodies might look different, but calling everyone unfit because they don't fit a certain standard is also a little far. It's not a criticism of you, Pawan, personally, so don't take it like that. Yeah. But it's a problem I've seen with a lot of people in general, that if a body type doesn't look a certain way, they're unfit, they're unhealthy.
Sarfaraz.
Yeah. I mean, with fitness, as long as you deliver on the field.
But great on you to be very honest about it.
Yeah.
You send in a super as well, and to not just tell us about it, but tell the other family members about it as well. Good on you.
Yeah. If only the other Pawan was there, so we could see the rest of the supers.
Yeah, we can. But see, I'll tell you one more thing, okay? The unfortunate thing is fitness is being equated. As Sunil Gavaskar told Sports Today, if you want to have fitness and you want to have chiseled bodies, go into modeling. There are so many instances of quote unquote unfit cricketers who have been match winners. And Arjuna Ranatunga, ultimate match winner for Sri Lanka, won the World Cup for the first time in 1996. You look at Inzamam, you look at David Boone. David Boone used to guzzle about 50 cans of beer in a trip. He wasn't supremely fit, if I mean. Merv Hughes was stockily built, but he was not fit as we would have to call it.
He was not fit in the traditional sense. He was fit in a cricketing sense, and that's what was more important.
Exactly. So yeah, a lot of people will have to apologize today. Lots of them will have to apologize, and I think that's where.
Is there, Jen's going to be any doubt about who's going to be the player of the tournament?
I think it could be the South Africa captain.
A bit of a Sachin moment for her, really, Sachin 2003 or Virat 2023.
Yeah.
Top run scorer, performed really well, didn't win.
But people,
How good was she really? How good was she? 2 under pressure hundreds. So tell us about it. Have you heard this ever before in women's cricket?
Never.
Maybe
Alyssa Healy.
Hundreds.
Alyssa Healy in 2022, if memory serves. She hit 170 in the final, and I think in the semi-final, I think she did, or I may be mistaken. I don't know. Maybe Alyssa Healy comes close.
But these have to be the 2 most appreciated hundreds under pressure. I think she's going to be proud of these.
But that 100 didn't give her team the title. I think that is what will further deteriorate her happiness, because what do you do? If you score 100, it's great for me personally, but what if my team doesn't win?
Staying at the crease for such a long time, getting exactly the amount of runs that you personally would have wanted to get. You would have wanted to get a little more, honestly. But then to be in charge of the field, marshalling your troops for 50 overs, thinking of strategies. She's had a long day.
She's had a very long day, and it's been a very, very long day, because the 2-hour rain delay ensured we started just on time and we finished on November 3. So that is why it's been a very, very long day indeed. But then, I don't know. Should we also apologize? Because even we also did not take women's cricket very seriously at the very beginning also, when you look at it. Because
in what way are you saying?
As far as coverage, as far as everything is concerned, at the very beginning of 22-23, when you look at it,
I think our coverage was far better than what you see in a lot of places.
Of course.
So it's not even that. It's also to do with, let's be honest about this. This is not just down to what we had to offer. This is also down to how well the coverage was received as well.
Yes.
And we work in a setup where numbers really do matter. This is just how, in every domain.
It's the nature of the beast, right?
This is how every domain, it's demand, supply, it's about catering. Right now as well, Siddharth, yes, I do know about 200 odd people are watching us. But we do know that our family size in terms of concurrent viewership is much more. Yeah. It is also down to, as a society, I hope this is, it's an awakening for us in a way. I hope that this brings out the best out of us. This brings out more respect than we may have already had for women's cricket. And I must thank Pavan for giving me water at the moment.
Really necessary.
Yeah, I take that.
Yeah. Luckily, I think even we are getting some cooling done also. I think there was an issue at this stage. So let's go down, Pavan, at this point. More supers, I think, are on our way. Yeah, thank you so much.
I'll take the super. I'll get on with that. So let's see. Ashish Dhar says, well played India. 3 ICC trophies in 16 months. That's actually correct, yeah.
It is correct.
Yeah. That is very, very true.
Yes. ICC,
the T20 World Cup, Champions Trophy, and now the Women's World Cup.
If you want to include the Under-19 Women's World Cup, that's also your one.
That was Jan 24.
That was 23. You won it in 23.
Not 23.
And then you won it again. So you're 2-time winners. You have not been beaten in the T20 Under-19 World Cup at this stage. So Shanu Kamal is like saying,
it's being a little trolly.
First time Rohit saw ODI World Cup win at stadium. Not born 1983. No. Not in 2011. I'm very sorry, my friend. He was, I think, either injured. He was injured. Yeah.
Oh no, he wasn't injured. I think he was
also dropped.
He was dropped because Dhoni apparently wanted another spin bowling option, so went with Piyush Chawla.
Yeah, that's unfair, Shanu Kamal. That's
He
really
lost doctored pitch 2023 final.
No. I mean, yeah, I agree it backfired, but sorry. Let's go to
Let's not make this win about Rohit Sharma. It's not
exactly.
Yeah.
Exactly. Jai Krishna again. If it was not for the pitch in Ahmedabad, India would have won the World Cup. There was more written than earned. Still lack the skill set to be concerned. Wait, Jai Krishna again. Because you lost, you are saying that the pitch got doctored and all those kind of things. I mean, you lost it in the mind.
Written. How was it written? I'm sorry. If anything, it was more written in Ahmedabad, where you pretty much doctored the pitch to try and make it a competition whereby you didn't want it to be batter friendly. You said we'll make it so that they'll struggle, and it backfired on you. So
Exactly.
how can you say that this was more written? I would argue that the other one was more written because there you really actively tried to influence the surface and it backfired on you.
Exactly.
Still lack the skill set to be consistent is something you'll see over time, my friend. If you're going to be salty about it, then sorry, boss.
I mean, it's. I just don't understand this comment. I really don't. And I think this is where slowly but surely mindsets will have to change. You lost. You won. Simple.
Exactly.
Irrespective of conditions. Let's not hang on to straws. Oh, that condition happened, this condition happened, that happened. It's new India. Let's try and be new India.
Yeah.
And I love mutton biryani indeed. We all love mutton biryani, my friend. And what a win. Can't believe it. Deepti and Shafali, what performance. Congratulations to all Indians of the Sports Today family.
Congratulations
Indeed.
to you too, my friend.
1.4 billion Indians are not going to have a Monday blues.
No Monday
Monday
blues.
blues.
Yeah. So Ashish there. Anjum on air. Unfortunately, yes. Jacqueline Williams was the umpire. She called.
There's a
Jacqueline Fernandez. Oh God.
Give the Anjum some
some
credit.
flack, yeah.
It is a World Cup final. Come
But that's
on.
funny. That's funny. I'll
It
give
is,
you
it is,
that.
it
Good
is.
It's
Ashish,
funny.
if you...
Yeah.
Good of you to catch that one.
Yeah.
Pranit says, told you
He
it would
did.
be a hat trick if it's happening.
Today, India in men and
Indian
women.
men's
team and
and
now the
women's
women's
team.
And I have to even, call out one of our family members. He's not set a super chat, but
Priyanshu.
no, GGK.
Another one.
Man, oh man, when that final over happened in the Australia semi-final, he said, boss, that final over as one as the semi-final. We have won the World Cup. A shout out for GGK,
Yeah, but to be fair,
man.
GGK has a history of making outlandish presentations, predictions. You know, a broken clock is also right twice a day. But still, I'll give you full credit for that.
Yeah, I mean, you have to give him credit where it's due here. So it is. I mean, he's correct in that sense. That was salty, Shane. You're taking upon that person's thing.
Yeah.
Come on, dear. Okay, so go to for any further comments, Pawan, please.
There would be a lot more from our other family members as well. So
Sorry.
let's see. Pawan Ola is making some rather unkind comments about King Babar, saying yet to win a World Cup. Our women's team have achieved more than that entire Pakistan.
Pawan Ola.
Pawan,
Why must you compare everything with Pakistan? Yaar, come on. You can't sour the occasion by compare. You have to compare it with equals. I'm sorry. You cannot even think in your wildest dreams that Pakistan can be your equal. Yaar, come on.
They're not.
Please don't spoil the moment by comparing this with, oh, we have won more than Pakistan. Is that your benchmark?
That should never be your benchmark.
Let's have your benchmark equivalent to either an England or an Australia.
Yeah,
please.
that should be your benchmark.
That's
it's
the
just
benchmark.
unfortunate that they're our neighbors.
And
Just
Nashli, by the way, is telling us good night. Saying, Maza aa gaya, see you in another stream. Congrats to everyone, to the Indian swimming team, also to SA for such a great fight. Yeah, Nashli, sleep well. I'm sure you'll actually enjoy your sleep tonight. And I do, if there's any team that I feel a little bad, had to be on the losing end today, I do feel bad that it's South Africa.
Well,
I know it's the nature of the beast. I get it, but still.
But I mean, what is more heartbreaking? June 29th, where they lost from a position where they had no business, but here they were fighting the wall. They had to win.
Here it was still very 50-50, right?
Yeah.
I mean, but my God, yeah, you're right. June 29th, so
They were
had no
running
business
away with
losing.
it.
Exactly.
They had
Running
run away.
away.
After that Akshar over, which Klaasen took him apart, they had no
24
business.
runs?
Yeah, they had no business losing from there.
Until Rishabh Pant's knee gave away.
And Suryakumar Yadav.
Yeah.
Wow.
As I said, long off, long off, long off. Even today it was long on, long on, long on. Amanjot.
right towards the end, it was mid off.
Yes. No, that was cover. So it's slightly wideish cover. It was Harmanpreet. Yeah.
Yeah.
But who won the player of the match? Was it because I saw two?
Shafali.
Wow.
There was a trophy being presented to Deepti as well. Oh, that would have been for the highest wicket taker of the tournament.
Could very
Could
well
be.
Yeah.
Oh, deep.
Wow.
Of course.
How
Of
can you
course.
count
Is she also now the leading wicket taker of the...
22 wickets. As Shane pointed out, only player in the history of World Cups to have 200 plus runs and 20 plus wickets.
Wow.
Only player. Even imagine a goat like Ellis Perry has never done it.
She was already the first today to get minimum 200 as well as bare minimum of 15. Now it's bare minimum of 20. You've just raised the benchmark higher significantly.
So, player of the match Shefali, player of the tournament Deepti Sharma, and India are the champions. The last, except you are not the leading run getter in this thing. It's Laura Ulwat, and I think Smriti is second. The only time, by the way, when a team did a complete sweep, leading run getter, leading wicket taker, and winning the trophy, was the Australia men's team 2007. Matthew Hayden was the leading run getter with 659. Glenn McGrath with 26 wickets. Australia won the title.
So, sleep with a smile on your face, ladies and gents. The women in blue have delivered a red letter day.
Yes, it is a red letter day, and November 3 will be remembered for a long. You can tell all your grandchildren, your children. Yes, we have been. This generation has seen two epoch-making World Cup wins. One on April 2, 2011, and November 3, 2025. And we are just now waiting what Harman will say, and we are just waiting for the trophy celebration.
Let's be frank, that's what we really want to see, right?
Yeah, that's indeed what we want to see. So should we call it a night?
Pawan says, yeah.
Yeah.
Yes, we can.
Okay, so enjoy this moment, my friends, and
Do
indeed.
turn on the telly, do watch some of these moments which are going to be staying in your minds and hearts for a long, long time.
Also, just before we end, one more special shout out, Amol Mazumdar, to a man who was a domestic giant, never got that India cap, has now brought a different kind of glory to India.
Yes, Amol Mazumdar. Salute.
Salute.
Avishkar Salvi, salute. Munish Bali, salute. The entire dressing room, backroom staff. Well done indeed. So
And
yes.
that's it from us.
Hope you enjoyed the coverage.
It's not the end of our coverage. We're coming back with more. It's going to be, the night's just started, but it's the end of this stream. So,
Yeah.
thank you guys for joining us.
See
Matt,
you.
Take it away.
Yep. Bye-bye. Nandri.
Nandri, Shubh Ratri,
Not
Shubh Bakher.
yet. Not yet.
Eat your vegetables.
Okay.
Don't trouble your others.
Enjoy.
Celebrate.